Hey guys, Nick here. Today we will be looking at this brand new 2023 Honda Trail 125, which is now offered in this beautiful pearl organic green color, which I think is a really nice tone they did from Honda. You know, they've been doing the Honda red, of course, for the past couple of years, and so they finally introduced a new color in here for this year, and well, it just looks great. But on top of the color change, Honda did actually do some small updates to this. They changed the bore and the stroke compressions of the motor and so forth, but everything else around it is identical, and it sounds like the performance as well is basically the same, but they just did some readjustments and tuning deep inside the engine. So today we're going to talk about it. I'm going to show you around the 125. You're going to see some running footage as well. But, you know, everyone makes a video on this and they drive it on the road. No one's driven it off-road in the grass or maybe on a trail. So we're going to do that today and see how that goes. Now keep in mind it won't be anything too crazy. But, you know, we're going to talk about how it handles off-road because it's got a nice tire on there. It's a little thin, but it's got some ground clearance. And, you know, it's built and has the multi-use purpose of going off-road. So we're going to explore that today. Now before we get started, I want to briefly mention and thank JAF Motors, located in Scotia, Glenville, New York, for lending me this today to show you all, drive it, and talk about the Trail 125. So I'll leave their info down below, as well it'll be shown on the screen. Be sure to hit them up if you're interested in getting any kind of Honda product. But so let's talk about some of the features on the 125. Two quick things: you get a side stand and a center stand, which I will show you in a little bit, which is a really nice feature. Right now we got on a side stand. You got a flip up seat underneath to get to your gas tank. You got the big rack on the back, which is awesome for storage and stuff. That has about a 45 pound capacity on it, but it's pretty awesome to give you such a large rear rack on it to storage. So let's talk drivetrain on this. Well, you got a 124.9 cc engine, according to Honda on their website is what it states. So basically a 125 cc, fuel injected, 4-stroke engine, meaning there's no carbs, there's no chokes, there's no fuel shutoffs, there's no reserve. So there's none of that stuff you have to mess with. On top of that, it's paired up to a 4-speed semi-automatic transmission, classic to the original Trail 90 from back in the 60s. So what this means is there's no clutch to mess with on the handlebar. You have 4 gears. You shift on the floor with your foot on the left-hand side when you're sitting on the bike, like you usually do on a motorcycle, but you don't have to deal with any kind of clutch. So meaning you could put this in 3rd, 4th gear, come to a complete stop, and just roll on the throttle and it will get going for you. Most of us aren't going to do that, but you can. Now, I'm sure you all want to see features and running footage, so let's get up close and show you where everything's located on this bike. So a few little bonuses that I am going to mention before we get up close is that this has ABS up front on that front wheel, meaning it's going to help prevent electronically you locking up that front tire when you're going down some very loose terrain or emergency braking when you're down the road and someone pulls out in front of you. On top of this, you're going to find you have LED turn signals, a full LED headlight, LED tail light, and of course an LED dashboard on this, which is great because again it goes into the value aspect of this bike. Now something else you're going to quickly notice on this bike that is different from Honda's normal products is the Honda logo. As you can see, it's got quite like some kind of gold to it, outlining. It's very similar, but it's also very different. And there's a reason behind that. This is Honda's original logo back from like the 60s, 70s. You can look up when Honda changed and updated their logo if you really want. But the main reason for that is the Trail 125 is a retro going back to their original Trail 90 they did back in the 60s. This is part of Honda's mini moto line of bikes that are back from their original bikes from like the 60s and 70s era that they've brought back into a modern design, like you'll find the Super Cub, and they as well make the Honda Monkey, which all go back to the originals back from the 60s and 70s. So for these retro bikes, you're going to find Honda's original logo, and as well you're going to find it on your key. So you're going to get a special key that goes with these models too, which is a really nice touch by Honda for doing. So that's a little brief talk about the history and background on these. There's a lot more videos out there that are going to go way more in depth about that, but let's move on to the dash. Well, we changed background up again, but it's with purpose. I was hoping with the shade to be able to show you the dash a little bit. It's hard to see, but it just shows you your mile per hour, your fuel gauge, your miles, and then you have a trip in there. The high beam light, ABS light, which goes off when you start driving it. Turn signals, check engine light, and of course your neutral light. Over on your left side, we got our low beam and our high beam, our horn, our left and our right turn signal, our kill switch and our start. There's an idea on those LED turn signals with the back of the bike, so you haven't really seen that. See it up front too. I'll switch it over to the other side now so you can see that. LED headlights, really a battle to see. There you go, now you can kind of see it. And I'll turn the high beam on too, so that turns on the lowers. So you got your high beam down here, your low beam's up here, and then you have your running lights right there. But let's talk about the seat now. Alrighty, so now you can actually see the back of the bike a little bit. Couple neat things to it. The gas cap for the gas tank you might not see right away. But if you put your key in here, turn, sheet comes up on this like the Super Cub does. And right here is your gas cap. Now what's also very interesting is you have a little Allen key right here. And if you see this little black box, in there you're going to find a toolkit. So you take your key to your seat, you pull out your little Allen key, and then you can get into your little toolkit, which just comes with some very generic basic tools from Honda. But it's just a neat little touch that they do that. And that's really it in terms of compartments on this. But in the back, you see the nice back end here, how they did everything. Again, with the rack, you even have some screw holes already in here, so you can actually screw things into this if you want to maybe add another plate, another mount to something, add on, and so forth. Well, I think it's been just about time to stop talking and to start riding the Trail 125, and then we'll do my normal closing out remarks afterwards. So let's go start it up. Alrighty guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the riding footage, the walk around tour, where everything's located on these. If you got any further questions or you want to share something, be sure to leave it down below. Something else in my notes I forgot to mention, this has a 1.4 gallon gas tank. So you could easily go over 100, like 150 miles on a single tank of gas in one of these, which is pretty nuts, especially in today's day and age when we're trying to cut down on our gas usage and so forth. But with that all being said, I want to thank again JAF Motors for lending me this today to briefly show you all and even being able to ride it a little bit. So all their info will be down below and on the screen once again. So be sure to check them out if you're looking to get one of these or any of Honda's products. I'm hoping to start uploading a lot more recently. I'm sorry for the lag in uploads and the gaps and everything for those of you that are reoccurring subscribers and coming back and watching the videos. But on that note, that's gonna do it. You guys all have a great night. Bye.